It's been over a week and the Cincinnati Music Festival is still talked about. Not because of the great concerts, but because of the fight that happened between whites and blacks. And of course, we saw footage of a white man, we believe of Russian heritage, basically going back and forth with a white guy. And what happened was there were some other guys trying to break up the fight, and he ended up slapping another person that had really nothing to do with the fight. And then once he did that, then all was forgotten. And a lot of the blacks have been arrested now, but the white guy who started the fight and the other whites who were beat up were not arrested. And this has caused so many people around the world to be upset, including those in the black community. Clip.
For those who want to politicize it, the J.D. Vances and the Vivek Ramaswamys and the Bernie Marinos and the Christopher Smithermans and many others who want to politicize it, they have not yet said something that I always hear when a black person, say, runs from the police and then is met with disproportionate force, sometimes ending their life. What we hear is, well, why did they run? Why didn't they just comply? We hear that every time. But I've yet to hear anybody say, why didn't he just walk away? So let me back up so you understand this. Two combatants, one black, one white. A black man steps in, breaks it up. The white guy re-engages, slaps, not the black man that he had just squared up with, but slaps another black man. And nobody's asking, why didn't he just walk away? And so when I see, and I don't know who else the chief is looking for or CPD is looking for, but when I see the mugshots, I only see people who look like me. I don't see the person who re-engaged, slapped not the initial person, but slapped another black man. So I don't see the slapper's mugshot. And so sadly, I have to agree with those who are politicizing this and racializing this. I have to agree with the Smithermans, the Ramaswamys, the Marinos, Corey Bowman. This is racial because it is unequal justice. And so until we see all the mugshots, this is still a racial issue. So let me say again to those in Cincinnati, it's Friday night, and we know people like to go out on Friday night. Here's what I would ask. Because of what happened this past weekend,
Now, this is a Cincinnati-based pastor who is saying the obvious. Now, this must be racially motivated because this guy slapped a black man who he wasn't even in the initial quarrel with. He started the fight, all right? And a lot of whites are saying that the blacks are in the wrong, but they've all been arrested. The whites have not been arrested. Now, again, after this happened, you had a councilwoman. Her name is Victoria Parks, and she put this up. They begged for that beatdown. I am grateful for the whole story. Now, once she said that, a whole bunch of news outlets, a bunch of people on the right, a lot of whites, wanted her to lose her position. But she came back and doubled down on an interview.
So you wrote, they begged for that beatdown. Does anyone deserve that kind of beatdown?
Nobody deserves a beating. There is such thing as inappropriate actions, and there are consequences to actions. And that is what my post meant.
Not only did she double down on the interview, she got a lot of support from Black Cincinnati because for those of us who saw the altercation, you know, the guy had the opportunity to walk away, as the pastor was saying. Why didn't the white man walk away from this sort of situation? But instead he wanted to fight, and then obviously when it was on, it was on. But then you have some people now who have been arrested for basically trying to delete 30,000 black people, all right? And this guy is named Scott Hanna. Now, Scott Hanna has been arrested by the FBI for doing the unthinkable.
And arrested him, booking him into jail Friday morning. FBI agents wrote in court documents that they learned Hanna had police interaction last September where he threatened to cut off. The agent went on to state that the same department had dealt with an earlier incident where Hanna swung a sword at the same woman's neck, resulting in physical injury. During one of those two incidents, Hanna became upset and screamed at officers using a racial slur.
This is Scott Michael Hanna. Now, not only has this guy tried to dismember people before, but this guy's in Dayton, Ohio. He's basically trying to organize mobs to not only delete thousands, but also blacks in Cincinnati. Anybody, right? And this guy has been doing all kind of stuff. If he was black, arguably, let me tell you this, he would already be arrested, okay? The situation with the guy, Scott Michael Hanna, the way he's been acting, if this was a black guy, the same guy who's acting to cleanse city of blacks, he's a danger to the community. He's a danger to women. He's already swung a full-size sword at a victim's neck, resulting in a serious injury, which was almost a partial decapitation. He's a threat to police officers. And this person is out on the streets. But you're telling me in Ohio, a black person can do that and he's not locked up, all right? And I'm going to be honest, I wasn't the kind of person initially to like really get into social commentary, racism, and white supremacy, but we got to call it for what it is. There is a prejudice still against black Americans in the United States. I've always known this, but I've always been the kind of person to say, you know what? We understand that it's there. And what we have to do as blacks is to work together and try to get through this gatekeeping, which I still believe 90% of our problems we can still try to solve. That's one thing. But what is the other thing? What is the other thing that is important? The other thing that is important is if there was a black man who slapped a white person, okay? And the white people started beating up on the blacks. I do believe that the whites would have gotten arrested because it would have been just so much pressure to do that. That I wouldn't disagree with. What is also true, that the black man who started the fight would have been arrested. You want to know why? Because the whites would have been saying, listen, he started the fight. Did they go overboard? Okay, yes, but he started the fight. He should be punished. If he just would have walked away, none of this would have happened, all right? None of this would have happened. He had the opportunity to walk away, but they're not saying that for this white guy. And again, Ohio, I see, I got some brothers and sisters out there living out there. Man, Ohio is a racist state from what I hear. It might be in the Midwest, but hey, a lot of brothers and sisters talk about Ohio. And in a city like Cincinnati, where you have almost 40% of the population black, then you have a black councilwoman to come out and just tell the truth. Yeah, you do deserve it. You put your hands on anybody in America. Let me just tell you how serious America is, right? I'm even afraid to do that anywhere in the world simply because America is so dangerous. Like, anybody can knock you out in America. You don't know what somebody got. See, here, living in Africa, Poland is real, but people got guns. You don't know. But in America, it's kids that can knock you out. You don't know what you are dealing with in the States. So you got to, respect is so important in America because things can go from 0 to 100 real quick. Here, things don't go 0 to 100 like that. Poland, things don't go 0 to 100 like that. But in America, they go 0 to 100, all right? And everybody in America knows that. We know that. We know that respect is paramount. That it's better to try to get yourself home, get out of situations. You don't know what nobody know. You don't know what somebody will do. You don't know how crazy somebody is. We all understand that. So once you put your hands on somebody, once you put your hands on a group of people that outnumber you, you automatically put whoever with you out there in a bad situation. Anybody. Look, look, listen, my mom is in her 70s. Okay, I'm out at a festival. Me, my older brother, and my younger brother, let's say, for example, right? Let's say hypothetically I had a sister and my mom. I swing at somebody, a crowd of 10. I will hope that don't nobody knock my mama ass out. But do you know what? If they do, and it's likely that somebody could, because they don't care about your parents. Oh, she an old lady, why you gonna hit her? No. You might get somebody to hit your mama and then stump her. Make it all bad. That happens. So what do? You gotta be smart. And be like, you know what? I want my family. You know what, brother? You got it. I got to get my mama home. He didn't do that. Then also you have another white guy who's trying to organize mobs in Cincinnati who shouldn't be out on the street. He a danger to white people. And if he's black, he is not even able to be out on the street. And these are the kind of people that interact with blacks on the street. They get their ass whooped by saying stupid stuff. And then you want somebody to come in and play victim for you. That's insane. That's insane. And the fact that we still talking about this, I mean, I just want to tell the blacks, look, guys, having money and education is one thing. Having opportunity is another thing. But you being treated fairly, me being treated fairly, for the fact because we are not in segregation anymore, are we still think that those things are over with? We're insane if we believe that. That's just not true. It's not true, family. Okay? We need to get with the program. It is simply not factual. We are still suffering from situations like this. What this means that if you're black, right, and a white person is in your same league with the same amount of money and same opportunity, what does that mean, family? It means that that person automatically, if you do equal crimes or equal things, that person is going to get off faster than you. It's harder for you to get accepted in the same society that you and that person live in. And if you think that that's not true, keep living. And we got to start understanding that. This should force us more or less to try to work together to close that gap. Family, the gap has not been closed. And we are silly as hell to believe that that's the case. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy Yoshi Duke Jackson back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Drunk. Appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe to the bell. We're out.